Hello, my name is Owen, and welcome to another weekly update. For those of you that saw my community post a couple days ago, you know I had an interesting week. Long story short, my phone decided to stop everything. Stopped working, stopped being able to do the basic things. So the downfall of that was, first, I couldn't record videos. That's what I record my videos on. And second of all, I lost my Shiv of Magic review to the ether. So if you were waiting for that last week, I apologize, but it's gone. It was good. It was long. There's still a small chance that can be recovered. Essentially, I had to get a new phone, and they said like, oh, it's like a motherboard, logic board issue with my old phone. And I'm like, what causes that? They go, bad luck. I'm like, thanks, Apple guy. Thank you. Bad luck, you say? Oh, thanks for letting me know. So I took that to the store, and essentially, like, with our cellular carrier, they think that if I get it fixed, they think I can get my data back, and they're gonna pay me too, like, to get it fixed, which I don't know why they just don't get it fixed on their own, but you know. So I'm gonna try to get that fixed, and they think that if it's fixed, I could get my data back, and I could assumedly recover that video as well. So who knows? I might just have to refilm that, or I could get it recovered. I just know it was a banger, guys. I don't really remember what I said, but it was a banger. You guys are really missing out. I saw it. I lived it, in fact, and it was quite a spectacular review, probably the best I've ever done. Other than that, though, you're probably thinking, wow, Owen, if you were living off the grid, no phone, you must have been reading so much. And you'd be surprised about how little I read in the last week. Mostly because when you don't have something integral to your life like a phone, I'm sure there's a period where eventually you're just like, oh, I'm so in tune with the world. But for those 4 days or whatever, I was just doing so much stuff to try to make up for the lack of having a phone, like driving to Apple stores, driving to Verizon stores, finding ways to call people because I don't have a phone, that it took up a significant amount of my time and mental real estate. So I really didn't do much reading. However, I did start Hitchhiker's Guide, which I've been flirting with for a while. I'm about a quarter of the way through that and enjoying it so far in its whimsical nature. And I also started something new. I saw Mike's book reviews, very long video about Ryan Cahill's fantasy series, and it was a great selling video. I was sold, is what I'm trying to say. So I got the free novella of his, The Fall, about Ryan Cahill. It's like a prequel to something. I don't know, guys. This seems like a monster series with a lot of lore from what I got the vibes from the video, and they even said that, I'm pretty sure. But it was a free novella, and did I not say I was looking for short books? I was. So I downloaded it and I started reading it. And so far, so good. I think overall, and I've said this a couple times, long series, long books, I just need a break from. So I'm a little bit scared that I'm going to really love this novella and then be like, oh, I want to read the book. And the books are just you know what I mean? So I thought I'd start with the novella because it's like a prequel. So I'm going to get some pre-lore, reading them out of order though, because the order of release, it's weird. But I just did it on a whim, guys, because you know what I mean? Because why not? And also, because of all this phone nonsense, I had to stop home at remember my bookshelf, guys? Remember when I had a bookshelf? Well, yeah, but then I went back home, but the books that were on the book, remember I had a lot of books on a bookshelf at one point? Well, those books are somewhere else now, like my childhood home, and I had to stop there this weekend, so I did a little bit of a book haul of books that I already have, and you guys have seen all these books before. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, I picked that back up. I never finished it. I got a quarter in, just getting deep, philosophical, you know how it is. This Mortal Enemy, War and Peace, sometimes I just get bursts of inspiration. I'm like, man, I should have finished this. But then also I'm like, I don't want to read long books anymore. It's just but it's pretty. So I decided to bring it up to where I live, let it sit with me. And I probably should have bought Count of Monte Cristo too, because even though I'm not going to read that again anytime soon, that was my #1 book of last year. For those of you that are new, did you know that? That was my favorite book of 2022, was Count of Monte Cristo. What's it going to be this year? I don't know. I feel like that's going to be a lot harder of a choice this year in 2023, but we'll see. And then finally, Dan Jones, War of the Roses. I bought this all the way back in March. This was the first Dan Jones book I ever bought, but I've read 2 of his books since then. So what are you doing? But I think I'll probably read this in the next few months or so, because I read the Plantagenets, and that takes place chronologically before the War of the Roses in history, in case you didn't know. So I just wanted to read that one first, and then I wanted to dive into this one. And I am excited to get to this. I think adding another nonfiction back into the rotation, maybe in November, would be a fun thing of me to do. So that's a little bit of a mini book haul of stuff that I already own. Other than that, I know that Sanderson's Fourth Secret Project came out recently as well, I think at the top of the month. I don't know if that's a video or not, but I just felt the negative motivation to read any of those, even though I paid for them. Because I started reading Triss and the Emerald Sea, and everyone loves that book. But I found it a little boring, right? I liked the whimsical nature of it, and he pitched it as like, oh, it's like The Princess Bride. I'm like, oh, sign me up. Brandon Sanderson and The Princess Bride, my two favorite things combined. But ever since I couldn't finish that book, like my love of Sanderson has taken a steep dive, and I'm like rethinking everything. And that's also probably because I've been obsessing over stuff like Malazan, which is just on another like style of literature in general. So like it's hard for me to go back to Sanderson, especially because I'm hearing that like his two middle projects, like everyone loves Triss, I guess, but the two middle ones, everyone's like, So I'm like, what? I don't know. And I have heard nothing about this last one. Like I didn't even look at the title. That's how disengaged I've been. But I paid for those books. I gotta read them eventually. So I guess the call to action in this video is, if you read any of the Secret Projects / most of them / maybe all of them, if you read the new one really fast, let me know if it's good, and maybe I just had a bad run for Triss. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know about Brandon Sanderson. I don't know about his Secret Projects. Maybe he shouldn't have released so many books in a year. Maybe. I don't know. I just feel like the hype has died down significantly on those books since like the Kickstarter, highest funded of all time, to now. But it's also like bias of me. It's me bias, because my thoughts are always heavily weighted 1,000 times more than anybody else's, as they should be, in my opinion. And what's backing up my opinion? You guessed it, my bias. Other than that, things have been going well. So expect... What should you expect this week? If I could get that data back within the next few days, that'd be great, because I'd post that video lickety-split. Other than that, I think I can finish Hitchhikers this week. That's how short it is, and I think I can finish that. And if I dedicate myself to the fall, I think I could finish that. Those would be nice little reviews. I've been thinking about like other outside of book reviews type videos. I haven't really solidified any great ideas yet. But I got some things bouncing around, so maybe expect something like that as well. I want to get back into posting a little bit more frequently, just because the last week I was unable to, and I've been missing you guys. Even though to you it's only been a week, to me it's been a week too. They've been the exact same amount of time, because I actually filmed last week's weekly update the day I posted it, which is rare for me, just like I'm doing that right now. So if you're watching this video on Monday, me too. A little bit of inside baseball for you. I bet you didn't see that coming. But as always, if you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. You guys have been subscribing too. I passed 850 subscribers. Can you believe that? That rounds up in my head to 900, which rounds up instead to 1,000. And we did it, guys. We reached 1,000. No, we didn't. Not yet. 850 though, and I'm so happy with that number. I told myself, just because I thought I was going to end the video, but I'm going to keep talking instead. I thought to myself at the beginning of the year, I'm like, oh, if I could reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2023, that would be outstanding. And we're going to be darn close, methinks, because it's the beginning of October, 150 left. I think we could get pretty close. If not December, I think January. I think it could be done. That's not to say I will start making cash off of you guys, because watch hours. You ever heard of those? Not even close. So don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it personally. If I thought that this would be profitable, I would have quit a long time ago. Because instead I profit off friendship. I profit off connection. I profit off family. And that's what makes me a little bit different than other people on this internet. You know what I mean? I'm just nicer. I'm kinder. I'm more wise. God. the more things change, the more newer phones I get, the more things stay the same in the sense that I ramble. Not sorry. Thanks for sticking around.